Properly roasted items within the department heavily influence our customer experience. A perfectly roasted item helps to elevate the cuisine within our stores and keeps our customers coming back. However, an improperly roasted item does not represent the Whole Foods culinary standard and will often leave our customers disappointed in their purchase. Roasting is an essential cooking technique that every cook should have in their repertoire. You'll see a good amount of roasting in the recipes we use throughout the prep foods department. Our culinary development chefs use a few different roasting temperatures based on the density and size of the item, but though the temperature may vary, the final roasting color should be consistent. Now let's get into the do's and don'ts so you can start getting that beautiful roasted color on your food. It's very important to ensure all our cuts are consistent before roasting, especially with foods that are a bit denser than others, such as root vegetables. Inconsistent cut sizes will result in different cook times, impacting the culinary experience of the finished recipe. Even if a vegetable comes in pre-cut, we should still ensure that they are cut to consistent sizes in line with the recipe spec. Whether you are working with a pre-cut vegetable or a whole ingredient that needs to be fabricated, all ingredients should have consistent cuts to maintain the culinary standard. Take a look at these sweet potatoes. Notice how all the smaller pieces have started to burn before the larger pieces even started getting color. So the next time you're prepping food to roast, make sure it's all the same size to get that nice, even color. Many of our recipes will call for some type of wet seasoning. Usually it's with oil and dry spices to give our food a certain flavor profile. But adding moisture will take us longer to achieve color, so we must be careful with how much excess moisture we're cooking with. Notice how much excess moisture is being added to the sheet pan. This will cause the food to steam rather than roasting and will prevent us from getting that nice roasted color we're looking for. Instead, you want to scoop the food out of the bowl with a spider or gloved hand, creating a sift with your fingers for the liquid to pass through. This will help minimize how much excess liquid is getting onto the pan to avoid steaming. Oven space is a hot commodity in our kitchens. Because we do a lot of large-scale recipe cooking, we want to get things done quicker by cooking the most in each batch. However, we never want to compromise quality for speed of execution. It is important to spread out the food so that there is enough space for air to get in between and around the foods for even heat and color distribution. Notice the pan on the left has cooked unevenly, with the edges slightly browning and the middle of the pan has no color, whereas the pan on the right is a bit more spread out, allowing the food to cook evenly. Setting timers is a great way to make sure we don't overcook our food, but sometimes multitasking can lead us out of the kitchen. So if you don't think you'll be around when the timer goes off, be sure to communicate with a fellow team member to support. Be sure the items are cooked according to the recipe, rather than solely relying on the timer. Oftentimes, ovens are open and closed, requiring items to be cooked longer than indicated on the recipe. If a recipe calls for a golden brown cauliflower, you may need to extend the time should the recipe color not be achieved after the timer went off. Although the cooking techniques are different, notice many of the do's and don'ts are similar across various cooking methods. Remember to always pay attention to temperatures, overcrowding, proper seasoning, and other helpful tips and tricks to ensure your department is providing the best customer experience and maintaining the Whole Foods Market culinary standards. And should you ever have any questions about recipes, equipment, or execution, be sure to consult your prepared foods leadership.